Hi, this is pharmacist Curtis Alexander. In this video, this is part of my one-on-one series where I just kind of cover a broad overview of a medication, give you a 35,000 foot overview. And today we'll be talking about Stelara. So I want to hop right into it. First and foremost, Stelara is a medication. First of all, it's a specialty medication, which means it's very high dollar. And we're going to talk about that a little bit at the end and some things that you can do to help in that process. But Stelara is used for a number of different things, one of which is it has some GI or gastrointestinal indications, one of which can be used for Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. It can also be used in dermatology for plaque psoriasis, and finally can be used in rheumatology for psoriatic arthritis. So it has a number of different uses, which begs the question, why can it be used for so many different indications? And that's because of how it actually works in your body. And what it's doing, Stelara is a MOAB, or a monoclonal antibody. And what that means is that it's able to go in and basically stop some of the pro-inflammatory or some of these cytokines or pro-inflammatory processes that are going on in your body. It can go in and stop those. And some of the particular ones are your interleukins, even some of your T cells and some of these cytokines, which is great for some of these indications. But it also has, I say this all the time in the videos, it's like if you want to understand what kind of side effects you may experience with the medication, it helps to know what it's doing in your body. So for Stelara's case, it is attacking some of those pro-inflammatory processes and stopping them, but even inflammation in your body is needed, and we see inflammation in our immune process. So it becomes very important with our side effects, because one of the things that we see the most, one of the biggest risks, is that 27 to 72% of folks who take Stelara may see an infection. And that's because of how it acts in the body. Those T cell processes and the interleukins, many of these things are involved in your immune system's response in your body. So when we're blocking those, we can see infections go up. Now, is it serious? In most cases it's not, but it can be. In roughly 3% of people, Stelara can possibly cause a serious infection. The other side effects that you can see, 3 to 12% of people, you can see antibody development, which essentially means your body will create antibodies to Stelara, and it can decrease the effectiveness. We particularly see this in people who are taking Stelara for psoriasis. Finally, 7 to 24%, and again, this ties back into the above one, but specifically nasopharyngitis, which is essentially a cold. You can see that develop in some of these people. The other area where Stelara can get a little confusing is how we dose it. It varies for each indication, and so I'm just going to give a broad overview. In many of these cases, they're going to dose Stelara for you based off your weight. So this is, again, just a very broad overview, but in the GI realm, so anybody with Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, one of the downsides of Stelara is you're going to have to start with an IV induction, meaning you're going to have to get an IV infusion of Stelara. They'll load you up based off your weight, and then you move to a subcutaneous or an at-home injection. And you do that every 8 weeks. Normally it's 90 milligrams every 8 weeks after you've done the IV infusion. And again, this is for Crohn's and ulcerative colitis, not for psoriasis or arthritis. For those, what we see is patients start directly out on subcutaneous injections. They do an injection at week 0 or day 1, however you want to look at it. Then 4 weeks later, another subcutaneous injection. Then they start doing it every 12 weeks, or in some cases, depending on response, they can do it every 8 weeks. So the dosing does vary a fair amount depending on why you're taking Stelara. The biggest elephant in the room with Stelara is it's very high dollar. Now, what I will say is Stelara is thousands upon thousands of dollars per month. You'll see, depending on the dose, if you were to go put cash on the barrelhead, you're looking at $10,000 to $20,000 per month. It's extremely expensive. However, normally we can get it covered on insurance. You are going to have to jump through some hoops because in most cases, all these indications, you're not going to jump right to Stelara. You're going to have to try some other things. Most insurance companies will require that you try these other things. If you fail, then they will consider Stelara. In a lot of cases, we can get it approved through a prior authorization process. And we also have things like free drug and copay assistance. Because even if you do get it approved through a prior authorization process on your insurance, your copay may come back quite high. You can maybe get some assistance that way. So when I say it's high dollar, it is if you had to pay cash, but in a lot of cases, insurances will cover it. You're just going to have to jump through some hoops. So this was kind of an overview of Stelara. I hope it was helpful. Questions, whatever, put them in the comments. I do my best to answer them. As I do more videos, that's becoming harder, but I promise I read all of them. Also use the comments if you want to see other videos, things that would be helpful for me to cover for you. Let me know in the comments. I hope this video was helpful, and again, this is Curtis Alexander. I'm a pharmacist. Until the next video, we will see you soon. Thanks.